All right, everyone. Yesterday was a whirlwind of activity with regards to the Hunter Biden story, so we'll start off today by recapping sort of the day's events. Of course, I'm already on the next day because I'm on Netherlands time, so haha, people on the Pacific, you're not a day older yet. You know, you've aged a little bit less so far. Hunter Biden has pled not guilty to the charges against him. These were 2 misdemeanor counts related to taxes, to not paying his taxes, to the total of a significant amount of money that would probably get you charged with more than a misdemeanor, but of course rules for thee, not for me. And then a felony gun charge that's been deferred, or at least it was going to be deferred. He goes into what's called diversion, so he has to do certain things. He can't use drugs. He can't break any other laws. I think even like minor things like jaywalking could get you in trouble if you're in such a program, and to avoid jail time, basically. And the original goal from Hunter Biden's team was a sweetheart deal, effectively suspended sentence, you paid the money back, so we're not too worried about that. Just don't do drugs or try to buy a gun or do anything crazy during that suspended sentence period, and we'll talk about the gun charges separately. But the problem is twofold. First, Hunter Biden's attorneys angered the court, and I have to think that played a role in how things played out the other day. When one of Hunter Biden's legal people pretended to be a member of the opposite team in order to get things removed from the docket through the clerk and misled them about their identity. That again, probably illegal, and that was Jessica Bengals, I believe it was identified as the caller. We're not sure if that was an individual decision, something done at Hunter's behest, or whether it was an agreement by the whole legal team. Somebody might get disbarred for it. Of course, they might throw Hunter under the bus and say, oh, we had no choice. The client demanded it, and so I figured it was a bad idea. I'm really sorry about it. I made a huge, tragic mistake. Please don't take my law license away. Or it could be that Hunter Biden throws them under the bus. It'd be characteristic for a Biden to backstab somebody working to keep him out of jail. Link in the description archived, of course, just a little bit of a run-up about this, by the way, in the description. He's probably going to end up in the end still getting a plea deal, although the old one has been scrapped. The new suggested plea deal that will be ongoing as far as discourse with the court goes, the new one is a little bit more restricted in its language. Because there's an ongoing investigation, of course, the judge needed to determine, hey, with this plea deal, is this going to nullify additional potential charges or trigger the end of an investigation into other counts or further investigation, especially into the gun crimes charge? And of course, the prosecutors in the case said, well, there is an investigation, Judge. And so the judge says, well, the old deal, I guess, is dead. That's null and void. It looks like they've got a tentative new deal. It's effectively a slightly harder slap on the wrist. In the end, that one too may fall through. Of course, Hunter Biden he was going to plead guilty in exchange for the plea deal. He's pled not guilty. He's already issued his plea. I don't know actually whether you can change that later. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe it depends on the state that the court operates in or whatever's happening. I don't exactly know. I think this is a federal case, though, so that may not apply either. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I know quite a bit about elements of the law, especially the Constitution and its application, but that one I'm not sure of, so you'll have to get that from a different commentator, I suppose. In the end, if he gets any time at all, or any further punishment beyond, again, suspended sentence, you're not allowed to smoke crack for a while you're under suspended sentence, and we'll be monitoring you with random drug testing to make sure, which, you can always get someone else to piss in the cup. And if you bribe the person enough and you're the son of the President of the United States, I don't think it'd be a huge problem to get by that. Sorry, dude, I did snort a couple of lines earlier. Why don't you piss in the cup for me? It'll come back clean. No, says the person doing the drug test. See, I'm not on a diversion program, so I can snort coke as long as I do it in privacy. So we'll wait until Hobo Joe comes to sleep in the restroom and pay him $10 to piss in the cup. Oh wait, Hobo Joe snorts coke too. Shit, everyone around us is a druggie. Maybe getting clean urine wouldn't be as easy as one would think. That Hunter Biden, I don't think in the end will face serious repercussions. Yesterday, it was a whirlwind. At first, we heard the plea deal's been nullified. The judges tossed it out, and people are like, oh, well, oh, Hunter Biden is going to jail. Hunter Biden's going to have to pay a huge fine. Hunter Biden's yada, yada, yada. They're extensive sentence or something like that. They're going to give him the maximum. They're going to give him 10 years on the gun charge. That's not likely. The fact is that if the prosecution is willing to play ball with the defense on this particular issue, the judge can supersede that, but it would be historically unlikely. They're likely to hammer out some sort of a deal. Hunter may spend some time in a county jail. He may pay an additional fine. He'll get hit with court fees probably at this point, and that's basically it. Because the law is like a spider's web. The flies are caught, the wasps go free. Expecting Hunter Biden, therefore, to get dragged by the legal system when his daddy oversees large swaths of the legal system is unrealistic. It's wishful thinking. I keep warning people when these things happen. Be very, very careful of the hot takes. Like, I uploaded my first video, speculatively on the subject, yesterday, ashore. And by the time it had processed, by the time it was public, new news had come in refining the story, and I had to take that down and make an entirely new video for accuracy's sake so that people knew what was going on. Then we were in limbo. We didn't know whether the plea deal would simply be inked, the new one, by the judge, or whether things would proceed further into at least one more day, and then that's what's happening. But I can't imagine, other than making sure that all of the I's are dotted and the T's crossed, I can't imagine really anything else happening. It seems that the real fear for Hunter Biden's people, and for aficionados of the Bidencrime family, of course, they're feeling the heat right now. It seems like the major concern isn't really the charges he's already under, but the Foreign Nationals Act and other possible ongoing investigations that, that they had sought with the original plea deal to effectively cockblock. So it's not about the current charges. They don't really care. And of course, for the misdemeanors, he'd be facing a maximum of a year in prison. Again, even if the judge gave him that maximum, you're looking at serving actually 8 months in a low security facility. Not exactly the worst punishment in the world when your commissary will definitely be filled up at the end of every month. It's not like anyone's going to attack Hunter Biden in prison. No, they're going to be blackmailing him and saying, hey, I hear that you got connections to the good drugs. Well, maybe not sleazy P. Martini quality crack, but I haven't had a fix in a few months here, so we can parlay. Come back to my cell and with these two brawny dudes here. That's not probably going to happen either in a low security. You just end up bribing a guard, but he wouldn't be under danger or anything like that. He's not going to a supermax under tax charges. He's going to a low security federal facility like Ghislaine Maxwell. Basically, gets a slap on the wrist. But the slap is a little bit harder. And there are people celebrating this. There are people on the right, they're like, ha, huzzah, justice comes for a Biden at last. That's not what's happening here. This is mostly procedural bullshit. This is the judge making sure that a further ongoing investigation doesn't get cockblocked. If Hunter Biden gets this kind of sweetheart deal, even on a major gun charge, what do you think would happen to him for the foreign national registry sort of bullshit? Most people are never even charged under it, even when they did act as an unregistered foreign agent. Unless your name happens to be like Gal Luft or something like that. Selective enforcement means, why would the feds, again, many of which are directly in their positions because of Hunter's daddy, why on earth would they bring any significant charges? They'd give him a lesser included misdemeanor, or they'll refuse to charge in the first place. This is not a victory. This is effectively, instead of being slapped on the wrist with a feather, they used a pencil. That's what's going on right now. That's about all. Peace out.